Hi everyone, my name is Carlos, CEO and co-founder of Datagran. For the past few weeks, you've seen demos in social media on how AI paired with Cursor, Cloud, Vercel, Replit, among others, will change the way software is built. Very cool indeed. But at the end, they're just that, demos. Production-ready software demands much more than that. Maintaining databases, scheduling jobs, scaling to manage big amounts of data, among many others. Today, I want to show you a product that will redefine how you build internal software. It is called Datagran Apps. Picture this, a platform where you can effortlessly create professional apps with AI, automate workflows, sync your data into a Delta Lake, and leverage artificial intelligence not only to make your job easier, but to sprinkle AI magic across your business as well. All without having to worry about stitching products together and maintenance. Let me show you how it works. I will create an app where I can visualize a list of my clients and the total amount they paid us that month. Additionally, I will create a flag to specify the client that needs extra retention efforts. Once that is done, I will send alerts via Slack to the responsible team and enable an AI bot for them to ask any questions about the data. Let's begin. When you land in Datagran, you just need to choose the product you want to use. But first, let's go into integrations and integrate a data source. I'm going to choose Google Sheets just to make it simple. In this example, you're just going to have to name your integration. Demo November 4th. And then you just choose your account. If you don't have one, you just need to opt with Google. In this case, I'm going to select my integration, which it's basically a list of clients that have made payments for us on Stripe. Of course, it is a dummy integration. So I'm just going to type Stripe. And here it is. I just select it, click select, and then I just need to click on next. And we'll wait a few seconds until that connection is made. Once that is done, I can select the tables I want to replicate in Datagran. Once the connection is made, again, you just need to choose your table, add the stream, and click next. For this case, I'm just only going to replicate my table once, but you can choose hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly to get your data. Then I'll just click on finish. And once that is done, I'm going to choose my project, which in this case is the demo project. And I'm going to click on add. The integration is now running. One of the great things that Datagran has is a full set of features that guarantee your data governance. For example, you're going to see your summary, the extractions being made, the tables that you're replicating. You can change your configuration, your frequency of extractions, and you can hard delete or soft delete your integration. In this case, we're just going to wait a few minutes, or actually seconds, like in this case, because obviously the data is not that big. We just brought 285 rows. Once this is done, what we need to do is go back to integrations, because if you're going to create an app, you're going to have to create a custom integration where you can send your data. So in this case, we're going to do that by selecting the REST API. In this case, I'm just going to call it demo destination. And then I'm just going to name it here demo destination as well, which is going to be destination, which is going to be the destination of my table destination. And I'm just going to select next. Now, take into account that you can leave the schema empty, because we will define that automatically for you. If you want, you can also define your schema, but in your app, it will need to match exactly. So I'm just going to click next, and I'm going to select my demo project as well and add that destination. That's about it. Then I'm going to go back into my personal data workspace, and then I'm going to select my demo project again. Once you have an integration, we can transform the data or create a model, even importing models directly from Git. All of this can be done from data workflows right here. Now, let's create a new workflow, and let's call it demo workflow. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select my integration. It's called demo November 4th, and I'm just going to drag and drop it into these canvas. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop the Jedi NLP, which is going to be the operator where I'm going to transform the data that I just integrated. Remember that if you bring your data from Stripe or Google or Facebook or your databases, it can be in different formats. The data can be not clean, among others, and you're going to have to process that data. We have a full set of operators that you can use to do just that, like, for example, simple SQL, or even our code operator, which is basically a VS Code hosted in Datagran. For this case, I'm just going to use AI. For that, I double-clicked on the operator, which is called Jedi NLP, and it's going to launch a machine for us. This is one of the cool things about Datagran, which is that it is made to handle big data. What that means is that we are creating a machine for the code to run, but not only that, it is optimized to run big data with things like, for example, Dask on the back. Usually, data scientists or data analysts would write pandas code, which in many cases with big data will fail. In our case, all of it is optimized to run and process big data with things like Dask, for example. Now we're going to have to wait a few minutes. Actually, usually it takes 1 minute to create this machine, and then we're going to be able to ask our question. But in the meantime, I'm just going to copy paste my prompt right in here so that once the machine is ready, we can just run this. My prompt says, please group my clients by the total amount of money paid this year. Order them from the most amount to least amount. Basically, I want to understand which clients are paying me the most, right? What's interesting here is that I have no idea how my data is coming in. But Jedi already knows that information. It has context about my table. And with this prompt, it's just going to analyze my data, process it, and give me an output. What's cool about this operator is that I'm going to be able to see the code that it runs and then the output table and try to see if it makes sense. Let's just give it a few seconds, and hopefully we're going to be able to run our code. Great. It's ready. Didn't took that much. Now let's send our prompt. What it's going to do is it's going to iterate over the code and try to generate it. If it fails, it's going to learn from that fail, and then it's going to try to run the code again. So this is the first iteration. It's still working on our request. Second attempt, still working on our request. There it is. So now we have our table, and this absolutely makes sense to me at this point. So let's try to expand our code. This is the code that it ran to be able to give us our table. Right? I'm not going to go into the specifics on this code, but from just a quick look, it looks perfectly fine to me. Now I'm just going to run this operator by just hitting save and run. It's going to run my operator. And the great thing about this is that I'm going to be able to use this table in my apps so that I will be able to show the information I want to share that app either internally or to a client, for example, in some cases. All right, let's head to apps right here. And let's create a new app. And let's call this one our demo app as well. One of the cool things about apps is that you can customize your apps with your colors, with your different type of buttons. You can have it as a dark mode or light mode. But not only that, Datagran apps are beautiful. We actually use Tailwind powered UI code using front-end frameworks like React and component libraries such as Shaden. We have two options here. On one end, we can just drag and drop components from this left panel. The other option is to build our app entirely with AI, just writing our prompt down here. It is important to note that I can even mention the tables I want the AI to use so that I don't have to select the tables for each component. Great, I just pasted my prompt. Basically, what I want is a table with my customers and the total amount they have paid this year. As you know, that's what I did in my previous workflow. Additionally, I want a date selector and a text area to inform my team that we need to pay extra attention to this client or clients. Let's click on generate and let's wait for it to generate my app automatically. This is great. That's perfect. Now, let's select our table. Great. Let's just actually make this a little bit bigger. Great. Now to just test this app, I just have to click on the play button. And now I can just select my date right here. And then I can just create my message. For example, personal data, watch out. And just click submit. Great. Now I can just stop this, but I can also publish this app, make it live so that I can share it internally or with a client if I want. I'm not going to do that in this case and just click on stop to stop that app. Now we can just go back and head into our workflows. In this case, I'm just going to use our destination instead of our integration. Now, I'm just going to use an SQL operator to process the data that is incoming from our destination. I'm just going to click Run Query to see how the data is coming. As you can see, it's a JSON format. And now I'm going to have to write a code to be able to extract the date and the information within. Now, I really don't want to deal with this, so I'm just going to copy the JSON, and I'm going to drag and drop another Jedi NLP. I want Jedi to do that process for me. I just don't want to write JSON scalar code to extract that JSON and then organize my table. So what I'm going to do here is, please create a table with the information contained in the JSON of this table. The JSON format is that. So basically, I just don't want to do the work of writing my code. I'm just passing the example, and hopefully the AI is going to be able to create a table for me. And I should always be very specific into what I want. I should have two columns. One is date, and the other one is text. We're just going to have to wait for the machine to create, and we'll go from there, just as we did in the past. Great. The machine was created. Now let's send this prompt. That's the first attempt. Perfect. It created the table for me in just the first try. So here's the data, and now I just want to expand my reasoning and see what it did. Perfect. It extracted the JSON just as expected. There's the date, and there's the text I just wrote. I'm just going to save and run this. Now, with that step done, what I want to do is I want to send a Slack message into a Slack channel to inform our team of that client that we need to take care of. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Slack channel in my Slack workspace. I'm doing that right now, creating a channel, and it's going to be called alert, Datagran alert, Datagran alert. Perfect. Next. And this is going to be a private, actually a public channel. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite Datagran into this channel. So I'm just going to type Datagran, and you're going to be able to see the Datagran app. You're going to need to install that app in your channel if you don't have it. Now, with that done, I'm going to be able to double click on this Slack destination. And then I'm going to be able to select my Slack workspace, which is called Rove. In here, I'm just going to have to type Datagran alert. And in this case, the user is going to be called Datagran. And in here, I'm just going to select my table, and I'm going to select my columns, which are basically date and text. That's it. And I'm just going to separate them by a column. At this point, I'm just going to tap on test, and I'm going to send the message into Slack. I'm going to switch screens now so that you can see how this happens. Great. This is my other screen. This is my Slack channel. And now, as you can see, I got the date and the information. Now, one thing that I just need to do is just invite my team to this channel. Of course, I'm not going to do that in this channel or in this demo, sorry. Now, something new that I want to do is I want to create a bot in my Slack workspace so that people can ask questions to that bot, right? It would be really cool, for example, if I could ask, hey, what's the client that is paying us the most this year? And to do that is very, very simple. I'm going to share my screen again. Great. We're here in Datagran again. So I'm just going to go in this case to bots. As you can see, I have multiple bots in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one of the already created Slack bots. But first, what I need to do is to invite Datagran bot to my channel. So for that, I'm going to have to install Datagran Jedi and call it in that specific channel. So I just send it, and I'm just selecting add to channel in Slack. Great. With that done, I can just go to the Slack bot. I can go to connection rules, and then I can select add rule. In here, as you can see now, I have Datagran listed. It is important to note that if you don't add Datagran to your channel, you're not going to see it right here. In this case, I want to select a specific operator, which is basically Jedi NLP. I'm going to go here to the demo project. I'm going to select the pipeline, which is basically the demo workflow. And finally, Jedi NLP demo table. With that in mind, I'm just going to click Save. You can also enable custom instructions, which I'm not going to do in this case. That's it. My bot was created. I can also upload trainings into this bot, but I'm not going to do it in this case. I'm just going to leave it as it is. We're going to have to wait a few minutes until the table and the information is loaded. You're going to know when it's ready because you're going to receive a Slack message. So for that, I'm just going to share the change and share the screen again so that you can see how that process works. Okay, we're in Slack now. And I'm just going to paste here the prompt that I want. Basically, it says, please give me a list of clients that have paid us the most. I realized that I just did something wrong. I need to reference Datagran Jedi. So I'm just going to paste it again and hit enter. At this point, it's going to go and query that bot for me. And it's going to start giving me answers. It's going to think about it, and then it's going to give me a response. Let's give it a few seconds. This looks great. Now, I can also query my code and just download my CSV. Now, I don't only want the payment column. I also want the name of the client. That's great. Sorry. Datagran Jedi. That's great. But please give me also the name of the client with the payment. Perfect. This is the information I wanted. I can now see the query, or I can even download my CSV. This demo was a very simple one, and I only used some of the features at your disposal. On our YouTube channel, we have demos on AI bots, NLP, code operators, and more. The possibilities with Datagran are endless. It provides the flexibility you need and the productivity the speed of your business requires. We hope you liked it, and please reach out to us if you have any questions.